Hey guys, Buffin Gaming back today, bringing another video for our weapon blueprint series. And today we're going to be covering the Catacombs blueprint for the Heckler 26 or the G36, turning it into a variant of the G36C or compact version of the G36. So we'll go ahead and build this. I'll show you where you unlock it in the Battle Pass, and we'll compare it to the base G36 or one of the other blueprints to see any cosmetic changes. And we'll jump in game and check out how it handles in game against bots. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So here's the final design for the Catacombs blueprint for the G36C. So we'll go ahead and back out here. You can see it's unlocked here in the Season 5 Battle Pass at tier 76. You get the Catacombs blueprint. So let me go ahead and back out and we'll go to our custom game where we have this pre-built and we'll take a look at it. So here we go. We have the Catacombs blueprint. So let me strip this down to base. And now you can see how with a lot of the blueprints here in Season 5, we're seeing if you strip things down, they retain a lot of the blueprint features or standard black features. The Heckler 26 is already black at base, so this blueprint, you can see it doesn't retain the custom camouflage we get with the weapon. But first off, muzzle. We're going to skip on the muzzle. There's no muzzle on this particular blueprint. We'll go to the barrel attachment, and we're going to go with that FTAC 8.98 Spitfire to turn it into the G36C. It's going to assist with the ADS speed, movement speed, the cons here being the bullet velocity and the recoil control. And then again, you can see the default versus some of the other blueprints here, how they are cosmetic changes to the weapon. So we'll go ahead and do the Catacombs version of this to turn it into the one we want for the blueprint. Now for the laser, we're going to go ahead and want a 5 milliwatt laser. Again, this is going to help us with the hip fire accuracy and the sprint to fire speed. The cons here being the laser is visible to enemy only if you're walking around slowly. If you're sprinting or ADSing, the laser will not be visible. But again, this weapon is very well built for hip firing. You'll see in the gameplay when we get into it, you really don't want to even try to ADS with this weapon. So go ahead and skip out on the optic. However, if you're not comfortable without an optic, because the iron sights on this and the recoil are really hard to manage if you're ADSing, so you may want to throw something on. The stock, we're going to go with no stock option for this blueprint. Again, it's going to assist with the movement speed and the ADS speed. The cons here, the aim and stability and the recoil control. So we'll go ahead and put that on. Again, you can just see the different comparisons for the blueprints. And then we're going to skip on the perk as well as the rear grip. And then for the ammunition, we're going to want to get rid of that 100 round C-Mag, and we're going to just go with the standard 30 rounds. And again, this is going to assist with the ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and the reload quickness. And again, you can just see how it compares with some of the other blueprints. We just have that custom camouflage retained here for the Catacombs. And then for the underbarrel attachment, we're going to want the Merc foregrip. This again is going to add to our recoil control as well as the hip fire accuracy, which is key for this weapon. Cons here being the aim walking movement speed and the aim down sight speed. So again, you can just see how it compares to the other two at least that I have for the blueprints. You get the nice Catacombs camouflage on there, but we can use that, and I'll show you how we can utilize that on different blueprints as well. So this is the final version of the blueprint. Again, we have the nice looking G36C without the stock here. We have that PEC 15 laser light combo there on the front for the 5 milliwatt laser for hip fire accuracy. And like I said, you'll see in the gameplay, I was first trying to use this like a typical AR ADSing. It is not built for that whatsoever, so you really want to hip fire this. And you'll see in the gameplay, I'm really near the middle to end of the gameplay. I'm trying to only hip fire this, even out to ranges, and it's actually very accurate. I was shocked on how accurate it was. It's almost as if all my bullets are hitting. So very accurate for hip fire accuracy as this is built for. And that Merc foregrip as well as a 5 milliwatt laser, and just all the attachments are really help us with that hip fire accuracy. They all complement one another. So that's really good to see. So let's compare this just to the base G36. Really what I did here is I used the Necrosis blueprint to build the same type of weapon with the same attachments. So you can just see here when this loads, we'll show off the Necrosis blueprint for the Heckler 26 with the same attachments. You can see there above my AN94 Opticon. And then we'll look at the Catacombs blueprint here. So you can see no cosmetic changes. There's a couple different writing that we'll look at here on the weapon for decals. But other than that, the only cosmetic change is the camouflage that the weapon has for the Catacombs with the skulls there that we see there, again, to signify the Catacombs in France underground there with all the skulls, which is pretty cool to see. I think that's it doesn't look too bad on the weapon at all. But again, if we want to utilize some of these features on a weapon, we'll go ahead and just build a base G36 here with some nice looking cosmetics we can do here with just default. For an optic, we'll do the 4x flip. We'll keep the stock for this. Ammunition, we'll go with the 5.56, and we'll do kind of a black and tan mix here. We'll go with that. And then we'll go with a Merc foregrip for the Catacombs. It should add a nice touch to the foregrip there as well. And then we could throw any type of compensator or even a suppressor on there as well. We'll go with a tactical. There you go. Now we have a G36. Nice little black and tan combination there. Not too bad looking, especially with that foregrip. It's really hard to see the skull camo on that foregrip, so it doesn't really take you away from the realism of the weapon itself, the type of tactical, realistic MIL-STD build that we want to go with here. So again, just a black and tan combo there. Pretty cool with that foregrip. You can probably mix and match with some other different blueprints as well if we were to do something with a barrel for the, let's see here, the surgical. You can just see how that would go if you wanted to build some other weapon using that blueprint with a tan, retaining tan type of grip on the weapon. So again, that is the, and then you can just see the other foregrips here, how they would handle too. So that would actually go really well with some of the other blueprints, would be that Catacombs Merc foregrip. You could definitely mix and match that pretty well. So we'll go ahead and go back to the weapon. Now, how do the camouflages work on this? We'll just take a look here. Different camouflages, we go to like woodland. You can see it really covers it up, but you can still see the skulls kind of there, which are similar to some of the blueprints we're seeing here in this season for Season 5. You can just see some of those other ones. You can cover up basically everything, but again, you will see those skulls. And I believe this is supposed to go kind of coinciding with Shadow Company. You can see there the pinstripe suit actually looks pretty neat on this weapon. You can still see the skulls visible, but again, it adds a nice flare to the weapon there as well. So you can probably mix and match and find some good attachments as well as camouflages for this weapon. So we'll go ahead now and we'll just jump into the gameplay. And then you see, again, I'm just using this against bots on Crash, and really at the start of the gameplay, I probably cut it. I was trying to ADS with the weapon, and you can see first off the hipfire accuracy is actually extremely accurate. So I was trying to ADS with the weapon, and the recoil was just too much to even really control, even at a closer range. So when you hipfire, you're actually much, much more accurate. This weapon is built for hipfire, and utilize that 5 milliwatt laser and make sure you're hitting targets. You can hit your targets pretty decent distance, I'd say 15, perhaps even 20 meters. I had some pretty long range engagements just with using hipfire with a 5 milliwatt laser and all of our attachment combos there to help with that hipfire accuracy. And again, everything's pretty accurate, surprisingly at an even longer distance than you would expect. But again, very cool looking blueprint, I think, overall. I'm not the biggest fan of the camouflage that it comes with, but again, like I said, you can kind of mix and match that with some different blueprints to make it look pretty decent, as well as with the different camouflages that you can put on there. Something like the pinstripe suit that we saw kind of gives it a nice little flair to the weapon, as well as a nice aesthetic look with some different attachments you can mix and match with some of the other blueprints as well with our frame and smithing. But let me know down below what you guys think of this blueprint overall. Have you unlocked it yet? Have you tried it? Definitely, word of the wise, do not, like I said, do not try an ADS. Just use it for hipfire. I think it would actually excel pretty well on a map like maybe Shipment. It's something very CQC. This is definitely a CQC build. You might even want to leave the standard 100-round C-Mag on there if you're going to use it on something like Shipment. Just have an ultimate hipfire spray machine. But let me know down below what you guys think of this. And other news today, we'll just cover quickly. The Bruin was actually nerfed today again. So this is the second nerf that I believe it's received overall, or the third overall from base. So today they add a little bit of recoil with the weapon at base, as well as with a 60-round casket mag for the Bruin Mark 9 or the M249 Saw. Added additional recoil on top of the recoil that they added to the base weapon. So I did jump in and test this out in just a private game. I rebuilt the standard meta Bruin or the 249 Saw that we see basically everybody use in Warzone. And I noticed right away if I'm engaging maybe 30 meters out for other distances like that, the weapon noticeably has a lot more recoil. If you're just standing up close to a wall 10, 15 meters, again, you're not really going to notice it too much, but when you get out to ranges that typically people would be engaging you with the Bruin is where you really see the bounce. You get a lot of horizontal bounce as well as some vertical bounce there as well. So definitely going to be more difficult to keep shots on target at ranges, not as much as a laser. So I know I've definitely, if you follow me on Twitter, been complaining about the Bruin Mark 9 or the M249 Saw as far as the fact that it has had no recoil. So it's really good to see they're obviously listening. There's more people complaining than me, so they actually did give it a significant amount of recoil here. We'll have to see how it really handles in game. And if you're watching the stream last night, I was using a para version of the 249 Saw to try and show what an off-meta Bruin would be like if you use the complete opposite attachments as meta, and just still at how good it would be. And I'm interested to see how that handles now, because I feel like even with the para version, I feel like it would still serve its purpose, but the standard meta version of the 249 or the Bruin is definitely going to take a hit here. You're not going to be able to be as accurate at ranges, which is going to be good for that weapon. The mobility is significantly reduced from what it used to be, and your accuracy, your horizontal recoil is going to be much, much worse. So hopefully we see a meta shift here in Warzone. Maybe we'll get some buffs to some other weapons like a Scar as far as time to kill with that weapon. Damages of that 7.62 by 51mm would be pretty cool. I'd like to really see a rebalance for some of the weapons here coming up as Treyarch may be taking over for some instances of Warzone for at least their take. For Black Ops, Cold War, we'll have to see what that mix and match looks like. But I know for Blackout, Treyarch did tweak. They had custom stats for Blackout as well as custom stats for weapons in the base multiplayer. So we'll have to see what happens with the weapon tuning going forward. I'd really like to see a little bit more balance so the community doesn't shift towards 2 to 3 weapons with the exact same attachments, especially when it comes to optics like the VLK Rogue. Really, there should not be a meta optic, but I feel like because you have bigger YouTubers saying that maybe the ADS speed and the recoil is a little bit improved with the VLK, that's probably why everybody's using it. So it'd be nice to see some balancing going forward, and hopefully we see a meta shift here now, and we get a little bit more variety in Warzone. It'd be really nice to see. So let me know down below what you guys think. I'm just going to leave you with the gameplay. Take a look at this weapon. Let me know what you think of the hip-fire accuracy for this. Here, this is the Catacombs blueprint for the G36C here in Season 5. Pretty nice looking blueprint overall, but again, if you've unlocked it, let me know what you think. What kind of attachments do you run overall in the Heckler 26? It did just receive, actually, some buffs here in the last patch before today. This is August 20th we're making this video, so the latest patch prior to this, the Heckler 26 did receive some buffs, so pretty even better weapon than it was. I know it received some buffs also at the beginning of Season 4 or very end of Season 3. So I think at this point, it's actually probably a very slept-on gun. This might be a weapon to pick up again here in Warzone or even multiplayer, especially this particular build in a CQC map for multiplayer, such as Shipment, Vacant, something where you're in close quarters combat a lot is where this is going to excel. So I'll leave you guys with that. Let me know what you think down below. This is Buffering Gaming with the Catacombs blueprint for the G36C. Until next time, Buffering Gaming, out.